Hi, everyone. So here we are in chapter 1, and this is your first set of grammar notes. Now, like everything in chapter 1, they're a little long. It takes a while to get going in Latin 1. The first thing you should do is go into your Google Drive and open these chapter 1 printable notes for grammar. Then you're going to go up here to File, and you're going to do make a copy. I'm not going to do that because I already have a copy, but you can click on make a copy. It'll ask you what to call it. You can say, Miss Packman's copy of Grammar Notes Chapter 1, and you don't want to share it because it's your own personal copy, and then you would just hit OK. But we're not going to do that right now. So cancel that out, and here you go with your grammar notes. What I'm going to give you in this video is an introduction to how to read through your grammar notes, how to take notes on them, and so on and so forth. I just made the font a little bigger so you can see it better. You can, when you make your copy, you can go into your copy and you can do whatever you want with it. You can put notes on it or not, or you can just use it as your notes. So, as it says here, in every chapter in Latin 1, there's going to be English terms. Oh, look, I found a typo already. Let me fix that. That you need to know. These terms are English words that help us discuss Latin. For example, and they're all in red right here, the word declension. That's an English word you've probably never heard before, but it is important, and it's going to be mentioned in every single chapter. So if you don't know these words, when I ask you on a quiz, oh, what declension is this noun? You're not going to know what I'm asking. So these terms are very important. By the time we get to a certain point, you won't have any more terms about midway through the Latin 1 chapters. But for now, they're important. Sometimes they'll be repeated, sometimes they will not. So it's important, and I put right here that I highly recommend you make a separate list of these terms. If you like taking handwritten notes, get out a piece of paper, write these terms down, because writing helps you remember things. So we're going to go through some of these terms, and then you can end this video and keep reading the printable notes till you get to the next video. So here you go. The first term is declension. A declension is a group of nouns. Latin is organized very carefully. It's going to seem completely disorganized and crazy to you, but again, you've never done this before. So, of course, it's going to seem different. And we don't think about English this way because English is a spoken language, and for most of us, it's our first language, so we just naturally learn to talk in it. We didn't think about the grammar. So here you go. A declension is a group of nouns that work the same way. Well, what does that mean? Well, in the chapter notes, you're going to find out what that means. Decline is to put a noun in all of its forms. In English, we only have singular forms and plural forms of nouns. But in Latin, there are 12 forms for each noun, and the endings change. Case. Case is the grammatical role of a noun. It's depicted in Latin by endings on nouns. So another document that you have that you're going to want to look at is this one right here. It's called the case usage document. You can see that titled up here. You should also make a copy of this. All of these cases in Latin are the grammatical role of the noun. For example, there's a case for subjects, there's a case for possession, there's a case for a direct object, and so on and so forth. You will become very familiar with these cases. Now back to the grammar notes. Number means whether a noun is singular or plural. So if in the future I ask you for the number of a noun, you're going to tell me whether it's singular or plural. Gender. Now, in Latin and many modern languages, nouns have gender, masculine, feminine, or neuter. Sometimes gender makes sense to us as native English speakers. For example, the word man would be masculine, the word girl would be feminine. But adore in Latin is also feminine. That doesn't make any sense to us. We think, oh, adore is neutral. How can it have a gender? But in these other languages, it does have a gender. It's also feminine in Spanish and French and all the other languages that are related to Latin. Gender matters in Latin. Even if you think of something like a table or a chair or a dress or something as an inanimate object, in Latin it has a gender. Nominative is a case name. You need to be able to spell the names of cases, and you need to know what they are for. In Chapter 1, you're going to talk about 3 cases of the 6: nominative, ablative, and genitive. The genitive case is going to become very important to you, and you won't be able to do your noun quiz without it. Not noun quiz, your vocab quiz. And let's talk about finally this word inflected. The word inflected describes a language in which words change their endings depending on their job in the sentence. Latin is a fully inflected language, which means that all nouns, verbs, and adjectives change their endings. At this point, you can stop the video and keep reading below about Latin noun declensions, which is the next thing on your list, or you can start the video over. I would take 5 or 10 minutes and write down the definitions of these words before I did anything else, and then I would go on to the next thing. Thank you.